Good morning, children. Let us study a new system which was also another new system which was also introduced by the Britishers, which is known as Munro System. Munro System in the British territories in the South India. We have in the previous class studied about Maharwari system, that is in the northern regions of India. Now coming to the south, there were also similar move away from the idea of permanent settlement. But the new system was devised came to be known as Rayatwar or the Rayatwari system. Rayatwar or Rayatwari system, there Rayat means farmer or agriculturist. So it was tried on a small scale by Captain Alexander Reed in some of the areas. They were taken over by the company after the wars with Tipu Sultan. After waging war with the Tipu Sultan, the company had captured some of the region in South India. So the Britishers introduced, especially Captain Alexander Reed, introduced a system which was known as Rayatwar or Rayatwari system. And this system was developed by Captain Alexander Reed in South India. So here later we know that Thomas Munro, and this system also gradually extended all over the South India by Thomas Munro later. So this Rayatwari system was extended over to other region also. So here by Thomas Munro. Reed and Munro felt that in South India there were no traditional zemindars like in North India. We know the large zemindars or the landlords with many hectares of land withheld by the zemindar family in North India. But there were no such kind of large zemindars in South India. So all cultivators who were known as, or the farmers were known as ryots in the south region. They tilled the land for many generations continuously. The land was here literally passed from the one generation to other generation. But in South India we know that the land holdings were generally very small, and their fields had to be carefully separately surveyed, and before the revenue assessment made. We had to make the Maharwari system which introduced in the North India cannot be followed in South India, because we know that the land holdings were very smaller, that had to be carefully surveyed, and separately we have to make the assessment how much of revenue to be paid by each families. So Munro thought that the Britishers should act as a paternal father figures protecting the rights under their charge. So when the company or the Britishers felt that they are the guardians or the protectors of farmers in South India, so such a way they created such a feeling that they are protecting the farmers. Within a few years after the new systems were imposed here, it was clear that all was not well with all these systems, where the Rayatwari system or the Munro system or the Maharwari system or permanent settlement, different types of systems Britishers introduced here, but all were not working well. Some of them were well, so that they could earn huge revenue, but some of the regions these were not functioning well. So the collection of land, revenue from the land, or officials also fixed too high revenue demand also. The officials sometimes they collected more revenue from the people, remitted only less to the company also. Like that they were also, officials also were troubling the local people. So peasants were unable to pay the or the rights fled away from the countryside, and villages became deserted in many of the regions. We know that when the farmers or the peasants were unable to pay the huge revenue demand, they simply left the land, they moved away from the villages, and they left the agricultural land and moved away to other regions. So some of the optimistic officials had imagined that the new systems would transform the peasants into rich enterprising farmers, but it did not happen. some of the cases, and when the officials or the Britishers felt that they will be while introducing new systems, the farmers become more prosperous, but it did not work out in all the cases. Okay, some of the systems introduced by the Britishers were failure many of the cases. Now in the coming class we will study what were the important crops had demand in Europe.